World War II, a global conflict of unprecedented scale and devastation, raged from 1939 to 1945. It engulfed nearly every corner of the globe, leaving an indelible mark on human history. The war's origins can be traced back to the aftermath of World War I, with unresolved tensions and economic instability setting the stage for another catastrophic conflict. The war's global nature was evident in the vast geographical span of the fighting. From the beaches of Normandy to the jungles of Southeast Asia, battles raged on land, at sea, and in the air. Millions of soldiers and civilians were caught in the crossfire, enduring unimaginable hardships and sacrifices. The sheer scale of World War II was staggering. It involved over 30 countries and resulted in an estimated 40 to 85 million fatalities. The war's impact extended far beyond the battlefield, reshaping political boundaries, transforming social structures, and leaving a legacy of trauma and resilience. The two main opposing alliances in World War II were the Axis powers and the Allied powers. The Axis powers, led by Germany, Italy, and Japan, sought to expand their territories and establish a new world order. The Allied powers, spearheaded by Great Britain, the United States, the Soviet Union, and China, fought to resist Axis aggression and preserve democracy. Germany, under the dictatorship of Adolf Hitler, aimed to conquer Europe and establish a racially pure German empire. Italy, ruled by Benito Mussolini, sought to revive the Roman Empire and expand its influence in the Mediterranean. Japan, with Emperor Hirohito as its figurehead, aimed to establish dominance in Asia and the Pacific. The Allied powers, despite their ideological differences, united against the common threat posed by the Axis. Great Britain, led by Winston Churchill, stood defiant against German aggression in Europe. The United States, under President Franklin D. Roosevelt, joined the war after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. The Soviet Union, led by Joseph Stalin, played a pivotal role in defeating Germany on the Eastern Front. The outbreak of World War II in Europe was the culmination of years of escalating tensions and aggressive expansionism by Nazi Germany. Hitler's ambition to create a greater German Reich led to a series of territorial annexations, culminating in the invasion of Poland on September 1, 1939. Britain and France, bound by treaties to defend Poland, declared war on Germany 2 days later. The German invasion of Poland marked the beginning of the war in Europe, plunging the continent into another devastating conflict. In the Pacific, Japan's imperial ambitions and desire for raw materials fueled its expansionist policies. Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, on December 7, 1941, brought the United States into the war. The surprise attack on Pearl Harbor stunned the American public and galvanized support for war against Japan. The United States' entry into World War II proved to be a turning point, shifting the balance of power against the Axis powers. Germany's early successes in World War II were largely attributed to its innovative military tactics and advanced weaponry. The Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War, relied on speed, surprise, and overwhelming force to quickly overrun enemy defenses. German tanks, supported by dive bombers and mobile infantry, spearheaded swift advances into enemy territory. The Blitzkrieg proved highly effective in the early years of the war, allowing Germany to conquer much of Europe in rapid succession. The German Luftwaffe, or Air Force, played a crucial role in the Blitzkrieg, providing air superiority and supporting ground operations. The Luftwaffe's bombing campaigns targeted enemy infrastructure, communication lines, and troop concentrations. Germany's military prowess, coupled with its strategic alliances with Italy and Japan, posed a formidable threat to the Allied powers. However, the tide of the war would eventually turn against Germany as the Allies rallied their forces and developed new technologies. Section 5. Turning the Tide: Stalingrad and Midway. The Battle of Stalingrad, fought between August 1942 and February 1943, marked a turning point in the war in Europe. The brutal battle for control of the strategically important city of Stalingrad in the Soviet Union resulted in heavy casualties on both sides. The German defeat at Stalingrad, considered one of the bloodiest battles in human history, shattered the myth of German invincibility and marked the beginning of Germany's retreat from the Eastern Front. In the Pacific, the Battle of Midway, fought in June 1942, proved to be a decisive victory for the United States Navy. The battle, fought over a strategic atoll in the Pacific Ocean, crippled Japan's naval aviation forces and turned the tide in the Pacific War. The American victory at Midway, achieved through a combination of superior code-breaking and tactical acumen, marked the beginning of Japan's decline in the Pacific. The battle also demonstrated the growing importance of aircraft carriers in naval warfare. Section 6: D-Day and the Liberation of Europe. The Allied invasion of Normandy, France, on June 6, 1944, codenamed Operation Overlord, was a pivotal moment in World War II. The massive amphibious assault, commonly known as D-Day, marked the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe from Nazi occupation. The D-Day landings, involving troops from the United States, Britain, Canada, and other Allied nations, were the largest seaborne invasion in history. The operation involved extensive planning, logistical challenges, and heavy fighting against determined German defenses. The success of the D-Day landings established a crucial foothold for the Allies in France, allowing them to open a second front against Germany. The subsequent advance of Allied forces through France and into Germany marked the beginning of the end for the Nazi regime. The liberation of Paris in August 1944 was a symbolic victory for the Allies, signaling the imminent collapse of German control over Western Europe. The war in Europe would continue for another year, but the D-Day landings had irrevocably turned the tide against Germany. Section 7: The Atomic Bomb and the Pacific Theater. The Pacific War, characterized by fierce naval battles, island-hopping campaigns, and brutal fighting in challenging terrain, culminated in the dropping of atomic bombs on Japan in August 1945. The decision to use atomic bombs remains a controversial topic to this day. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of civilians, forced Japan's unconditional surrender and brought an end to World War II. The devastating power of the atomic bombs ushered in the atomic age and raised profound ethical questions about the nature of warfare. The Pacific War had a profound impact on the region, leading to the decline of European colonialism and the rise of new powers such as the United States and the Soviet Union. The war's legacy continues to shape political dynamics and international relations in the Asia-Pacific region. Section 8: Victory and Unconditional Surrender. After years of devastating warfare, the Allied powers emerged victorious in World War II. Germany surrendered on May 8, 1945, following the fall of Berlin and the suicide of Adolf Hitler. Japan's surrender on August 15, 1945, marked the official end of the war. The Allied victory came at a tremendous cost. Millions of soldiers and civilians had perished in the conflict, and entire cities lay in ruins. The war had left an indelible mark on the world, reshaping political boundaries, transforming social structures, and leaving a legacy of trauma and resilience. The aftermath of World War II saw the emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers, leading to the Cold War and a new era of geopolitical competition. The war also led to the formation of the United Nations, an international organization dedicated to preventing future conflicts and promoting international cooperation. Section 9: A World Forever Changed. World War II was a watershed moment in human history, leaving an enduring legacy that continues to shape the world today. The war's impact extended far beyond the battlefield, influencing international relations, technological advancements, and social and cultural norms. The war led to the rise of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers, shaping the geopolitical landscape for decades to come. The development of nuclear weapons during the war ushered in the atomic age, raising profound ethical and strategic questions that continue to resonate today. World War II also had a profound impact on social and cultural norms. The war effort mobilized millions of women into the workforce, challenging traditional gender roles and paving the way for future advances in women's rights. The horrors of the Holocaust, in which Nazi Germany systematically murdered millions of Jews and other minorities, shocked the world and led to the creation of international laws against genocide.